Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Expert Insights. Topic for today is becoming a no-limit company.
So what does that mean?
So bottom line, becoming a no-limit company is the mindset that there's really nothing that you can't accomplish if you combine great people with modern technology and innovation and then align them around a really powerful vision. But you got to have those components. You got to have incredible people. At the heart of everything is great people. You have to give them a powerful vision of what's possible. And then you have to enable that, combine their talents with modern tech and innovation, because that's the only way to make the leaps forward and the experiences the customers expect and really the efficiencies that you need to have to be successful today.
Where the magic happens,
Where the magic is.
Yeah, and we've seen so many times and heard so many stories in the last 6 months from a lot of our customers who have had exactly that experience where they're doing things right now that a year ago, if you would have said you could do this, they would have said absolutely impossible.
No way. If you would have called them, they would have and said, how long is it going to take you to send this much communication out to these many this many customers, or process that many PPP loans, or do that many refinances,
what have you?
They would have said it would take a year's worth of projects or 2 years worth of projects.
Yes.
And when there wasn't an option and you really just looked at it with a no limit mindset and did not see the obstacles, incredible things happen.
Yeah. So you realize a lot of those things are actually self-imposed, right? And so, and how often do we do this? I mean, you go back to the old Roger Bannister story, right? You know, the 4-minute mile. Nobody could run a 4-minute mile. Doctors were saying it's physically impossible for the human body to be able to do it. And as soon as somebody did it, suddenly the limit that was there before was blown apart. And everybody started running a sub 4-minute mile. And so how many things out there may still be like that, where we're putting limits on what we think we can accomplish? Self-imposed.
One of my favorite books is Becoming a No-Limit Person by Dr. Wayne Dyer. And I haven't read it for a long time. I should probably read it again. But it ties in so much to, I think, what also plagues organizations. And that is, we all have limitations based on experiences in the past. And a lot of, for putting it into context, so failed projects and implementations that took way too long, or projects that ultimately were, way over budget and just did not get the result. And so you tend to have a new set of limits that are put in place based on what you know to be certain in the past. But what if you didn't have that mindset, and what if there weren't really limits, and you started acting and taking action towards those initiatives, towards that transformation project, towards rebuilding your customer journey or making your sales organization more efficient, and you just started taking action on that path, like there weren't obstacles and you could make it happen.
Yeah. What would you, like that old, the phrase, like, what would you accomplish if you knew you couldn't fail?
If you knew you couldn't fail.
And you think about, like, there's so many great historical case studies of this with businesses. I mean, you think about a company like Kodak, who actually in 1975 brought the first digital camera, right? But they didn't continue pursuing it because they were so entrenched in the old way of thinking, the old way of doing business in film. And then you compare that to a company like Netflix. And if you remember, I do. I remember their original business model was sending out those red envelopes, in your mailbox, and they shifted and went to streaming.
They weren't tied to that limitation of that was our model. Here's the way we need to do things. They weren't tied to that.
Right. And that was shaking it up at that time, right? From the old Blockbuster model, right? And so they were shaking it up. They shook it up again, when it went streaming.
They could have stopped and said, hey, we out-innovated our competitor, but it wasn't enough. They thought bigger.
Yep. And now they're not done, right? Now they're on to, producing Netflix originals. And so they keep on reinventing. And part of that, you mentioned how important the people are. You need people to challenge your limits, right? You need people asking hard questions inside your organization of saying, I know we say this is the way we've always done things. We know we say we can't do any more than this, but can we?
Yeah, I know we're passionate about this in our culture, is not seeing obstacles.
Absolutely.
And saying, okay, this is really hard. These projects and these initiatives have problems associated with them, but let's see the opportunity. Let's not see the obstacles. And you really have to push that through your entire culture, though, to really have to become a no-limit company and to be a leader in your market that's always going to be outpacing your competitor. You have to put that into your culture, in my opinion.
Yeah, and one of my great mentors always says you got to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. And if you're feeling uncomfortable, it means you're probably doing some good things in your business and you're pushing those limits. So bottom line it for us one more time, Joe.
Bottom line, there's no limit to what companies can accomplish when they combine great people with modern technology and innovation and align them around a powerful vision.